These are very tough to deal with. No scoring. We are now a minute into the first period of Iowa against Iowa State. The Hawks and the Cyclones. First of 2 duels this year. We'll have another one in February on the 19th.
Thorn's in there pretty tight now with the far arm and the waist. We got a stalling call against Riley. We have one stalling call. Next time it's a penalty point. That should increase activity out in the middle of the mat. Notice both boys are in the center in the 10-foot circle. That's where most of the wrestling should take place.
Both upper body situations so far, tie-ups. No shots have been taken.
At least a little mistake by either competitor will cost him 2.
There was a shot from too far out by Thorn.
Easily countered by Riley, blocking off underneath.
Tell you, sometimes if there's no scoring, though, that can be the difference in who gets. Well, Riley's already been warned, so there won't be any need for that automatic warning at the end of the period.
Not a lot of activity yet since that stalling warning, but again, both boys are tying up in there pretty tough, staving each other off, blocking off with the head.
Back to the center with just about 58 seconds, a minute left to go. Thorn of Iowa in the black. Tried an underarm spin. Let's see if it goes.
No points yet. Still scrimmaging for the takedown. Thorn's got him locked up, but Riley, if he can free that head, get out the backside, he might score 2.
Thorn managed to step across and come out of it. It's 40 seconds left, no score.
Thorn was able to circle and face off, maintain the neutral position. 33 seconds left in the first period.
John Thorn of Iowa State on the left in the red. And Tim Riley, who's been doing a lot of weight, both stalling. That's the point.
Notice the 1 point was given to Iowa State for the stalling call against Riley. And of course, the double stalling call meant that Thorn was called the first time. So the next time he'll be penalized 1 point.
You'll see that clock tick away in the last seconds of each period. And as you saw when it stopped, there were only about 3 seconds left to go. There'll be no scoring more in this period. It's 1-0. Iowa State gets the choice in the odd matches, so Thorn decides whether he wants to go up or go down. He goes up. Thorn riding. He hasn't been in a match for
quite some
weeks.
time. Quite some time, Doug. We'll see that knee will get a little test down here in the mat now.
And Tim Riley's in the unenviable position of having to cut a lot of weight this year. He's wrestled some at, I think, even 134.
He had a stand-up shoulder roll, but Thorn was able to stay with him.
Took him out of bounds with a bear hug. We have about 10 seconds gone in that flurry.
1-0, Thorn. Thorn's in the top position. Riley stands up. He uses a trip and a lift to put him back to the mat. Steps in with the legs. Tries to jam those arms out from underneath him, get him off his base. Riley maintains the base. We could get a stalemate maneuver here, a call, but thus far, nothing. Looks like Thorn's trying to bar the arms, but Riley says no do. We're liable to get a stalemate here. Neither boy's improving their position. There it is.
A minute and 20 seconds left to go. Second period, it's Thorn 1, Riley nothing.
Thorn has 40 seconds riding time to his advantage at this point. Remember, folks, 1 minute net riding time at the conclusion of the match for either competitor over his opponent garners him 1 match point.
Awfully big crowd here at Hilton Coliseum. Only a few empty seats up at one end in the top row. We'll probably get a reading on this a little bit later on. Iowa played Iowa State in basketball today, and a lot of the same fans had to make 2 trips.
It was a stand-up switch attempt by Riley earlier, but no points.
A little over a minute left, second period. 1-0 Thorn. Riley gets to his feet, turns in. Now you see Thorn go down to the ankle to try to save that position of advantage. He has the riding time now. A little over a minute. Potentially dangerous.
Yes. Potentially dangerous simply means safeguard to the athlete's potential for injury, and that's exactly what transpired there. The knee was in a position where it could have been taken to the outside.
Thorn again down on the leg to save it, but Riley's turned in on him now.
Thorn's building up riding time. Regardless of the position here, he still has the advantage position. Now he gets a pick with it, spins around, although it looks like
now Riley's out.
Riley may be clearing the legs for the one. He's not out yet. There's been no points given. There it is.
A minute and 25 seconds of riding time for Thorn, if you're keeping track of that kind of thing.
But Thorn has that far arm trapped, and that negates any move by Riley. Now both boys are to the feet. 19 seconds to go in the period. Both boys are tied up. Inside tie-up by Thorn. Blocking off with that far arm. Head blocks by both boys. Neither one's making a shot for a takedown at this point.
1-1. We have just a couple of seconds left, and the second period will end even 1-1. But Thorn has the riding time, and here's Riley on top. Riley starts on top. Now, Thorn's been out of competition here for a couple of weeks.
Here
we'll
we
take a look
see the
at
situation
that.
now. Thorn comes up, spins around behind, but notice how Riley clears the legs, gives him the hips, sprawls, gets his, not quite, but there comes the 1 point just shortly thereafter.
Back to, oh, there's that knee, and Thorn is complaining about the knee because that's the one that he had hurt, and it would just happen to be the one that Tim Riley went for. Now Thorn not able to get out.
That knee is causing him some difficulty, I think, underneath. He's not able to move much off of it. He's trying to get it straight, keep it straight, rather than get it caught underneath. Notice the sit-out maneuver he's trying to execute.
Only about 35 seconds are gone here. The riding time advantage has been erased. And it's an even match.
Thorn stands up, gets the 1 point escape.
Jay Robinson said, let him up. Jay Robinson said, let him up. Take him on his feet. 2-1 is the score. Thorn leading.
You can see that knee was hurting because there wasn't much underneath that he was doing to execute a move other than maybe try to stand up, keep the leg straightened out rather than get it twisted or bent. And you can see him hurting.
Now you see the Iowa coaching staff. They can actually coach Tim Riley. Although the injured wrestlers' coaches cannot coach Thorn.
The rationale behind that particular rule is to negate the unnecessary injury timeouts in a given match.
Now let's see how Thorn can do on his feet with that injured knee. 2-1 is the score. He leads.
Well, my guess is he'll not be able to put a lot of pressure on it.
There's nothing like being ahead in the score, though. Big match. Thorn comes in on the leg. You won't be able to keep it.
He shot too far out, but Riley blocks off underneath. Thorn's trapping that near far arm from your screen, and that negates any move from Riley.
Less than a minute to go. Thorn by 1. Riley glanced over at his coach, and he's called for stalling. And Dan Gable wants to talk to him.
He made no effort to get out of that position. That's why I call the stalling. All right, I tried to get out. The guy was hanging on his arm. You watch that now, okay?
All right, 3-1 now. Thorn. A takedown to tie now for Riley with 35 seconds to go. There it is.
There's
Come around.
Snap down, spinning around behind it. If you can block that arm off. Notice Thorn keeps that arm in there. Riley's attempting to block it off. Spin around behind, put the pressure on the upper shoulder. There it is.
He got it. 3-3. He doesn't have time to let Thorn up and try to throw him. He has to stay on top. The whizzer didn't work, and it's going to be a draw. It's a draw. 3-3 at 118 pounds. Riley against Thorn.
Riding time a factor?
Riding time does not make a difference here. It was a minute 25 worth for Riley. Or rather for Thorn, and a minute and about 3 for Riley. 3-3. So how about that? That's the way it starts.